7 times World Series champ is a spectator. They're doing a 3-wide formation tonight, Jay. The track a little bit more narrow with the windrow on the inside. Once again, David Murcott wins the Vortex Top 8 shootout. Starts on pole position alongside Robbie Farr. Matty Reid doing a great job. He was quick time man thanks to King's Racing Products earlier tonight. And Wayne Rowett starting at a P17 surprised everybody with a 4th result in qualifying earlier tonight. Never even seen the place. Qualified P4. Tyler Walker started at a position 8 with a bent race car. Got himself up to 2nd in the B main and made the transfer. Let's go racing! Murcott, a tremendous start. He leads Robbie Farr. Oh, lines! Oh, McFadden is hooked onto the back of Trevor Green. He's tagged him. Green wants to get going. He doesn't want to stop. He's like a tow truck.
You can see there that the rear Nerf bar of Trevor Green is hooked over the right side Nerf bar of McFadden. Now, Green doesn't want to stop because as soon as you stop, you're going to go to the rear of the field. So that's why he's continued to drive to try and pull the cars apart. Let's take a look at what happens there. Steve Lyons has spun out, and unfortunately, McFadden and Green getting together. Well,
Lyons extremely lucky not to be what we know as primary cause. The whole catalyst behind that incident was Lyons half spinning the Monty Motorsport car. Look at Greeny going, no! McFadden realises he's just a passenger at this point, so both those guys will have to go to the rear. Such is the universal rule for sprint car racing across the world. Oh, Farry, much better start from Robbie Farr. He's not going to get caught twice.
No, you can't give Robbie Farr too many chances, and he really got the opportunity on that one to get away. Dave Murcott slides in a second, but 3 wide all through the field.
There is Sean Dobson, young man out of Tasmania in the green and black number 77. Sides in the middle of all this with Brian Mann as well. And look at Tyler Walker making up ground. Tyler
Walker coming from the back of the field. I guess his opportunity here is to run a line that is different to everybody else. We've got the caution on the speedway, so the cars will revert to single file restart.
Well, Ricky Mayolo caught up with Matthew Butler there in the Q71. So Queenslander and South Australia, and you can see Ricky shaking his head in there. Great family operation. And, of course, his cousin Chaz, one of the legendary parts of that team. So Matthew Reid, he set quick time earlier tonight. He's in P2, the number 47 car, owned by Alan Haynes out of Mackay in Queensland, though he's originally West Aussie, most of his working life in Kalgoorlie in the mining industry. Lines, a lucky man, working on the back of sides, and Ian Madsen again, showing very good form at another place he hasn't been to.
Yeah, and Tyler Walker there on that wall cam, we can see continues to persist on the outside. Cameron Gessner has another shot around Murcott. He passed him as the yellow came out, completes the pass this time around, and Gessner up above the slick in the middle of the corner is able to carry the speed. We see it time and again. You've got to be persistent, but you're up there against the fence. You've got to have a lot of confidence as well. The driver to the inside as Tyler Walker makes a move on the inside of Danny Reedy.
Got to remember too, Cameron Gessner's family home is only a few hundred metres up the road from this place. He was born and bred in Toowoomba. He and cousin Andrew Shirley, Tyler Walker, on the hammer as we take a very good look at the front end of how hard a sprint car works.
You can see the amount of suspension travel, the shock there, the gold thing right in front.
Oh, that's Tyler Walker. Oh no, the Titan Garage's Avenue 36 has gone. It biked into the turn and then it rolled. Did a good job to almost catch it.
So when a sprint car bikes up like that, the only thing you can do to try and stop flipping over is turn to the right to try and drive the car out of it. Unfortunately for Tyler's case, he turned right and got into the fence.
There was no room left, no margin for error. Cameron Gessner to the bottom. The big fella from Toowoomba is having a screamer. He asked the question of the man known as Mr. Speed. Matthew Reid, a fantastic substitute for Jason Johnson, who goes back to running his own car after wrapping up the ASCS 360 cubic inch championship in America. Madsen ahead of Sides, ahead of Lines, ahead of Mann. Good crowd here at Charlton Raceway, Toowoomba. Been very poor weather conditions in Queensland of late, as we see David Murcott having a better run in that 83 car.
Jason Sides also looks like he's still trying to work his way through. Now remember, he's starting to gel with that team. He's only done a couple of shows in the Cricket Motorsport, a different chassis than he runs in the United States. He's running the Australian-made cool car here. It's going to take them a couple of shows to get together, but professional team, professional driver, I think they'll get the click pretty soon.
Watching the Ian Madsen on board down low. Watching Sides trying to run him down, the man out of Memphis in Tennessee, driving the car that Shane Craigie describes as the hot rod. He works his way off too. Sides started to get some bite. He had that right rear on the cushion there. Cameron Gessner, he's the fastest man in the speedway right now, Jay.
And it shows. He's really working Matthew Reid over. He just needs a clear racetrack. I mean, he's got a lot of car speed, but where he wants to go on the racetrack is probably where Matthew Reid is. With switches to the top again, carries the speed. I'll tell you what, he's given it a good shot, and he gets around Matthew Reid.
He's got a very clever man working on the spanners on that car, Nathan McDonald, the man formerly of the Cheetah chassis side of things, and formerly a very handy racer as well in the early pioneer days of World Series Sprint Cars. Tasmanian Sean Dobson is having a blinder. Look at this, racing with one of the hardest chargers in World Series, Danny Reedy.
Dobson, he's chosen to travel so he can get experience, and the best way to experience is race against the top guys.
Oh, Grant Anderson too, coming right on from Albury in New South Wales, the son of the danger man, David Anderson. Watching Matthew Reid on screen, the Alan Haynes, number 47, that he'll reluctantly hand back to Jason Johnson for round 3 at Hobart in Tasmania, Mountain Dew Ice Raceway. James McFadden, he's always doing something, the Australian champ.
This racetrack is starting to widen up, so we've got nice slick racing surface and a cushion, so you can either choose to roll the bottom, try and get your car stuck through the middle, or slide up, put the right rear in the cushion, and try and get some traction. Now, as the race goes on, that cushion is moving further and further towards the fence, so you've got to be very careful you don't slide over the cushion, bite the concrete.
We're watching Ian Madsen, that was his onboard as James McFadden starts to close in. Robbie Farr is your race leader, looking to make it 2 feature race wins from 2 starts in a brand new car. They had to bolt together a new car, the East Coast Pipeline team. The last one is now gone to the children's playground in the sky. Oh, watching these guys getting right up to that black slick. Yellow light has come out. That'll bring us back to a restart. Oh, Brian, man, he's been so consistent to start the series as race director Shane Collins says, come on, we're going to get going, boys.
You've got to run on the edge. I mean, you're racing the best guys in Australia and a couple of very stout Americans here. You've got to run on the edge, and every now and again, you step over it.
Farr leading from Gessner, from Matthew Reid, from David Murcott. Murcott's crew chief Dave Sharman heads off to America this week for a week and will arrive just in time for the 3rd round at Hobart. So Murky's got to be careful to preserve the car. They tore it up in a rollover in the first turn last week. Murky's playing the percentages game right now. He'd hate that.
You can see, though, I noticed when that car rolled through the corner, it really laid over on the right side. So where the Murcott's running a lower right rear air pressure, well, they've got a softer shock on the right side of that car as Dobson hard into the fence.
Oh,
over the cushion.
Jeez, Wayne Rowett, the snowman, arriving late. This young Tasmanian was doing a blinder job. You can see how windy it is. By the way, that smoke is just blown straight towards the fence. The Dobbo just got up a little too high above the cushion, pushing very hard. And this is a heartbeat. Bang, you're over. You turn perpendicular to the wall, and that's when he bites it. Great job by Danny Reedy just to brush the damage. And Rowett, nice job to turn the car in as well. So restart, minus the Tasmanian. Hey, is Cameron Gessner here to win this race or what?
Absolutely, and I was going to say, before that yellow came out, Robbie Farr was unable to drive away from the field. Cameron Gessner is very stout in this race. Matthew Reid in 3rd is half a shot as well.
Down to turn 1 and 2 they come. Reid on the cushion. There is Madsen. Andrew Shirley starting to figure in this one too. Far off to the left is your leader. Now down the bottom comes Ian Madsen, the TMG fabrication car, driving for Gary Miller out of Western Australia, the driver out of St Mary's. Jason Sides in behind him, Andrew Shirley and James McFadden. There's always plenty of heat between those two.
McFadden with a nice slide job there is able to get past Shirley. These guys are run through the slick part track. You see the right rear roll under, so the guys are getting the side bite as well as the forward bite off the tyres. Ian Madsen really trying to work over David Murcott, looking all over the racetrack.
We keep referring to that slick. That's the black section of the racetrack. Looks like it's had all the dirt basically blown off it. It can spin you around in a second. You have to be so careful. You know, the only thing that gets you through it is experience.
More laps and laps, and Robbie Farr out here leading this race. He has done a ton of laps at every racetrack in Australia, and that shows. Great team. He's able to pull away a little bit more now. Earlier in the race, I think it was a lot more even. So Farr is really controlling this race. Back in the pack, though.
Sides is coming, JJ, the American. Plenty of experience. We're working lap 22 of 30 here. So Sides on a mission to try and get this Cricky Motorsports cool car, the Toyota Genuine Parts Hot Rod, into the top 3. Gessner has been rock solid all weekend. So is this man, the Haynes Labour Hire, number 47, who devoted Collingwood football fan, and a man who goes off and cruise for Terry McCall in America, and did a pretty good job racing himself this year in the States as well.
Laps and laps, and on different types of racetracks, racing against different people. I noticed then we had a couple of shots of very different racing styles. Robbie Farr, a lot more aggressive on the wheel, versus Matthew Reid, very, very smooth. It works for both of them. Robbie Farr earning some lap traffic. Let's see if Cameron Gessner is able to do anything with Robbie as he gets into the back of the field.
Brodie Tulloch there, the young Queenslander, just staying out of the way, down on the bottom side, letting the guys get around him. Well, sides now. Here comes the Quickie Motorsport car. Madsen will not let him get by without an argument. We're working lap 26 of 30 at Charlton Raceway, Toowoomba. It's the World Series Sprint Cars. This is the last Queenslander performance before January. The boys heading to Tasmania. A big haul ahead of them during the week. Nobody wants to tear up race cars. They got plenty of driving to do, let alone repairing cars.
But it is a race, Wade, and so the mist often comes down, and particularly these guys that are running at the front, they want to win. So it's not always about percentages. You really want to get a race win under your belt, and Robbie Farr is one of the best in the game at winning.
Well, they're called sprint cars, aren't they? That's fairly indicative of the way you drive them. Robbie Farr, this man, one of the very few, in fact there's only been three, that won an Australian sprint car and Australian speed car title. He shares that honour with George Tatnall, the late great George Tatnall, and Philip March. Last lap, and Robbie Farr, these days a Western Australian, driving for a very professional Queensland team. 2 wins from 2 starts. Farr will be thrilled with that.
Great start. Cameron Gessner on the podium 2 weeks in a row. Matthew Reid in 3rd.
Murcott will get 4th. Good job for him. Sides got to 5th in the end over Madsen. James McFadden 7th and Andrew Shirley in 8th. Man, physical stuff here at Toowoomba.